Hi. Hi. Alright guys, so I'm in another room in our home that we have finished. If you've been following along with our house build, you know that actually right at a year ago, we started building our house on our farm. Sorry, this room I'm in has 3 windows and the sun is going in and out of the clouds a lot. So the lighting is gonna be a little bit wonky, but we started building right at a year ago here on our farm. And when we moved into our home over the winter, it was very unfinished. We moved into a house that did not have interior doors up yet, no trim around the windows, no baseboard, only 1 bathroom was actually complete when we moved in. Our only requirements for moving in was my husband said we'll have a kitchen and 1 bathroom and then we'll move in. Because my husband did a lot of the work himself on the home, it made sense for us to get out of our rental home and just be living here because our rental home wasn't super close to our property. And so we wanted to get here as quickly as we could. So in the past like 6 months since living here, we have been checking off 1 room at a time. And today I want to show you guys I'm calling it my big boy's room because this is my older son's bedroom. And so before moving in, I picked out a paint palette that I liked, a whole house paint palette that I just found on Pinterest that I liked. And I kind of stuck with it throughout the whole home. And I put this blue color, which I will link for you guys down in the description box below, in this room and also in our pantry, which I'm excited to show you the pantry eventually. That's probably going to be in the winter when we get back to that because now we are working outside. And so some of the inside stuff is coming to a halt, which is totally fine. The weather's nice. It's a good time to start working on some projects outside. So we painted this room blue, and so because it already had a color on the wall, I decided to just paint all the trim in here white. So the first thing that had to be done was get trim into this room. My husband trimmed out all of the windows and the baseboards, and then he came in and painted the trim, the door, and the closet all white dove. That's kind of the color we've been falling back on when we do white dove. I really like it. And a lot of the bedrooms, if you guys have seen in my past room reveals, we did a color on the trim and then did white dove on the walls. But in here we did the opposite. We put the color on the wall and did the white dove on all of the trim work. After we got all of the trim work done and everything painted, I knew I wanted to hang some curtains in here just to add some texture and color. And also because they have 3 big windows in the room, it gets very bright in here early morning. And so we first started off by putting up some Roman shades. I really like these. They're really easy to move up and down. They're just a nice linen color, and so they kind of blend in. I didn't want something that you could see much of, but I like that they can fully put them down and then put them back up, so then during the day they can have nice bright light, and then at nighttime we can pull them down to make the room dark before they go to bed. And then we picked out these plaid curtains. They're actually the exact same curtains that we have in the little boy's room, just a different color. I thought this creamy with some of the brown and grayish color plaid. We hung these up on all of the windows. It's always a big job because every single room, almost every room, not all of them, but almost all the rooms have 3 windows. So when it's time to hang curtains, it's kind of a big job because there's a lot of windows in every single room. Okay, so after we got the trim done, we got the windows up, I wanted to work on the boys' beds. These beds have been around in our family for a long time. In fact, my husband used these same beds when he was a little boy. They were Amish built and they are in really good quality. They're just really sturdy, simple wood beds. You can stack them to make them into bunk beds, or you can separate them to make them single. We have done both. There's been times when we've in a different house where we had them as bunk beds, but here they look really nice as just single beds. But I wanted to get them new bedding to match their room. They have had the same bedding since they were like little toddlers, so it was time to upgrade them to a better bedding that fit their room really nicely. You guys know that we love quince around here. I have quince curtains in multiple rooms in my home. They have really nice quality when it comes to bedding, clothing, pretty much everything. And so I went straight to Quince when it was time to pick out their bedding, and I couldn't be happier the way that it looks. I just chose some really pretty quilts for both of their beds and some shams, and then I put a nice thick throw blanket at the end of their bed that I think will be really nice, especially in the winter. Quince is your one-stop shop for high quality essentials from clothing, home goods, and accessories. And the best part is that it's all at affordable prices. Quince really stands out from other brands that we've tried just because of their quality material and their prices. Quince chooses premium materials and designs that stand the test of time. Their products just feel nicer and last longer because they use the highest quality fabrics like 100% European linen and 100% organic cotton. I had a friend over and she immediately was like, oh my gosh, where'd you get that bedding? Because it just does look so cute on these beds. I absolutely love it. Not only does the bedding look great on their beds, it's also just so soft and so comfortable. And I love that it's high quality, so I know it's something that's going to last in this room as they grow. If you guys want to check out Quince, be sure to scan my QR code here on the screen. I also have a link down in my description box below to shop. You will get free shipping on your order plus 365 days return. Thank you again to Quince for sponsoring today's video. The rug that was in this room we already had. I just pulled, I kind of actually used that for inspiration because of the colors with it. It kind of matches the other blues and creams in this room. We also already had the nightstand that was in here. We actually had two of them, but I didn't think they really fit very well because I didn't want to have to cover up any windows. So with the placements of their beds, we ended up putting one nightstand between their bed, and then we put the other nightstand in their closet, and that's seeming to work really well, and I like the flow of the room a little bit better. Eventually I do want to try to find a desk or another piece of furniture to put on the wall between the window and the door because there's a big open spot there. But for now it works really well because these boys love to play with Legos, and I like them to keep the Legos in the room just because we have smaller children and Legos are chokeable. And so it kind of works out well because they can be in here and they have lots of space to do all of their Lego creations. So that was pretty much all we did in this room. But then I'm also going to show you guys the hallway because we've been working on the hallway that's just right outside of this room. I know you guys have been following along with our whole stairs, and we are getting so close to finishing the stairs. That's actually going to be coming soon. I'm going to be sharing all the progress on the stairs and the railings, the newel post, all of that. But before we get to that, I wanted to show you guys this upstairs hallway. We decided to paint the trim the same color that we have downstairs in our two living rooms. It's kind of just like a light brown beigey color, and I think it added a lot of color to this space. I also found, actually my sister found, a perfect runner rug for this room. It really gives it a nice pop of color. It fits perfect. She found it at an estate sale and she texted me right away and was like, I think I found a rug that'll work so good for you. It's kind of a thicker runner rug, and so it won't work in a lot of places, but because I have a wide hallway, she knew it was like perfect for this spot. So I put that rug in here, and then we also added a piece of furniture that we had downstairs. I've had this piece for a while. I got it at an antique shop, I don't know, probably like 5 years ago. And since moving here, I have not found a place to put it, but I've been wanting to use it because I love it. And so we decided to put it up here in the hallway, and it's actually fitting really well here. I do want to find some art to put above it and probably a cuter lamp. This was the lamp that I already had, but I think it would look nice with like a pretty lamp with maybe a colored lampshade. So now that this is done, other than the stairs, our entire upstairs, all of our bedrooms and our bathrooms, all the trim is all finished, which is such a huge relief. It was such a big job, and I'm so thankful that we finished that. So now it's on to finishing the stairs, and we have some fun things going on in the hallway, in the entryway downstairs, and then it's time to start on our detached garage. So if you guys are here for the long haul, be sure to subscribe and stay tuned because there's a lot more house projects coming your way.